Hello, you're watching Sightline. Our guest today is Mr. Bat-Orgil Bat-Erdene, Program Coordinator at Zorig Foundation. Bat-Orgil, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, Zorig Foundation was established back in 1998. It's the initiative of close friends, family, and colleagues of the Mongolia's prominent statesman, Zorig Sanjaasuren. So, could you tell us, our viewers, what the organization is and what its missions are?
So you're absolutely right. Zorig Foundation was established in 1998 after the tragic death of Zorig Sanjaasuren. His family and colleagues wanted to continue his legacy and continue to do what he was doing back in the day and established the Zorig Foundation NGO. And ever since, we've been in operation basically doing two things, promoting democracy and supporting youth and their education. And we've been able to do that for 23 years now. And we're the longest running, most stable NGO in Mongolia. And some could say it's the biggest NGO in Mongolia. And for 23 years, we have provided scholarships to more than 2,600 students. And we graduated almost 5,000 program participants from numerous programs that we run every year. And our program participants also implement community development projects by themselves. So those projects have spanned over more than 300 projects in Mongolia. So yeah.
So, can you name some of the prominent projects and programs that you've been conducting?
Yeah, absolutely. Our longest running program is called the Young Leadership Program. And Young Leadership Program has been in operation for 19 years. And we have more than 300 alumni in our alumni database. And we have implemented, I think, close to 50-60 projects. So every year we recruit and select 20 very promising young leaders working in very different industries. And for 8 months, for full 8 months, they get in a class together and get a seminar from very promising, very prominent leaders in across industries such as Bat-Orgil, and such as. And also we have other programs that stem from Young Leadership Program, such as the Environmental Leadership Program, our Junior Internship Program, our Mongolian Young Scholarship Program, and so on and so forth. But I think a lot of the youth and the students know Zorig Foundation from our scholarship program. So we have implemented quite many scholarship programs in the past, but our biggest scholarship program is the scholarship program in collaboration with the Swiss Development Agency. And right now we have just finished our selection process, and we selected 60 students who are studying in the local Mongolian universities. And it's one of the biggest scholarship programs in the nation. And we also have small scholarship programs such as the Mirali Scholarship Program, which supports girls studying STEM and science-related majors in universities.
So you said the biggest scholarship of your program is the one that you collaborate with the Swiss Development and Cooperation Agency. And this scholarship, it recruits 50 students
60.
every year. 60. Ah, okay. 60 years. And I was actually one of the students back when I was in college. And what would you say when you are joining the programs or maybe the scholarships, what are the basic requirements that you are searching from the students or the young leaders?
Absolutely. So when we announce a program and select students for our programs, we look at them very holistically. So we have an application process for all of our programs. So first, students have to submit their essays and their supplement materials such as their CVs or GPAs or transcripts or even recommendation letters. And then through that, we select shortlist candidates. We invite them for interviews, which is the second round. And after the interview, we decide whether or not we're going to select a candidate. So in order to be a successful candidate for our programs, students and youth have to focus attention to their application process, especially the essays. So they have to tell us why they want to be in the program, what benefits they can get out of the program, and also what they can contribute to the program, to our peers. Because that's one of the most important learning parts of our programs, is the learning from each other, from your peers. So we look at how can this person contribute to the program, and how can we benefit these participants through our program. So we look at it very holistically.
So what about the age limits? So you said it's for like young people. So
so we actually have a very programs designed for different people in a different age range. For example, we have programs for high school students, our junior internship programs, our Mongolian Young Scholarships program, and we also have programs for university students, such as the scholarship program, obviously, and the Democracy Summer Camp program. We also have programs for young professionals, such as the YLP, Young Leadership, Environmental Leadership. We also have programs for mid-career professionals, such as the Women's Leadership programs. So all of our programs have a specific target audience. It ranges from high school students to all the way to mid-careers. So it's different.
So Bat-Orgil, could you elaborate on the programs that you are carrying out, such as the Young Leadership and Environmental Leadership programs? So what kind of projects are actually being implemented as part of the program?
So one of the most important components of participating in our programs is being able to implement a community development project with your peers. So every year we have around 300 participants in all of our programs, and so from them we divide them into teams. Team of usually 5 to 6 people, and they come up with a project idea and they implement it. So every year 25 projects come out of all of our programs. And for example, last year a lot of our programs were focused on different sectors of society and different ways to improve the society. For example, mental health, road safety, people with disabilities, and environmental sustainability, and so on and so forth. So yeah, for example, last year our young leadership programs, one of the team implemented a project called 1 Billion World. And in that project, they had this idea that people with disabilities in Mongolia were especially very marginalized, because especially when it comes to unemployment and employment opportunities, they just don't know how to apply for jobs, and there's a lot of barriers for them to get jobs. So they wanted to make it easier, so they collaborated with one of the biggest employment websites, Sightline, and they opened a new section for especially with people with disabilities, so they can apply for jobs, so they can look for jobs, and that was one of the projects. And I think in the recent years, a lot of our program participants are coming with ideas to improve mental health through social media campaigning.
So how about the longevity and sustainability of the program? So you said that one of the projects was to allow disabled people to apply for jobs easily. So it was now on the Erdene. So how about other projects? And if the one project is just implemented in like around 8 months, and after that period of time, how would you just continue the results of the projects?
So it varies from project to project. Some programs, like you said, 1 Billion World, it has a lot of longevity. It can go on for many, many years. And some projects, unfortunately, end just for the duration of the project. Also, we have another project that completely renovated the old UB Museum. That was one of the projects, and you can see the longevity by visiting the UB Museum, because it's completely renovated. And so it depends.
Okay, thank you. And so I want to ask about this Mongolia's democracy state. So because one of the missions of the Zorig Foundation is to promote democracy in Mongolia, and also just prepare more people who value democracy.
Absolutely.
So and on last year's Economist Intelligence Unit's index, Mongolia ranked 61st out of 167 countries ranked, and Mongolia was classified as a flawed democracy. So what needs to be done in order to improve our position in the democracy index? What would you say?
So technically Mongolia is a democracy, but as you said, it is unfortunately classified as a flawed democracy, and that is for a reason. In order for democracy to flourish, citizens need to be educated. That's the foundation of how democracy can be fully function. And unfortunately, Mongolian public is not fully educated in terms of how to vote, in terms of who to vote, in terms of why voting is important. And if they know that, if the public is aware of the importance of voting, then they'll be able to vote, right? So like that, the foundation operates in terms of promoting democracy by educating the youth, educating the public through our programs, right? And like I mentioned, we have a program called Democracy Summer Camp, and it is actually stemmed from Zorig Foundation, Mr. Zorig Sanjaasuren's mission to preserve democracy and to promote democracy. So we select university students, and for 2 weeks, we put them on a camp, and then they learn about democracy from experts, industry experts, politicians, and so on and so forth. So by doing that, they actually also implement a project that spreads awareness of the importance of democracy, because democracy is very valuable and we have to preserve that. And their foundation is also looking forward to many ways to, amplify our mission.
So, as you said, one of the reasons that we have flawed democracy is that people has this lack of knowledge of voting and elections. And speaking of voting, one of the Zorig Foundation's project that took the media by storm was the Utlo project. So it was just about to raise the public awareness of election and voting and encourage them to cast a vote. So could you tell us what was done in the framework of this project?
So Utlo project was, implemented with a mission to, like I said, to preserve democracy, and that's one of our mission. And we did it with the collaboration of the Asia Foundation and UBP Media, and we started the Utlo project last year in 2020 during the Mongolian parliamentary election. And we noticed that youth voting rate, especially among 18 to 25, had been always the lowest among the general population, despite them representing one of the largest voting groups in society, in democratic society. So we wanted to change that. We wanted to, kind of spread awareness of why it's important, especially for youth to decide the future and to youth to participate in political process. And we started the Utlo project, and we implemented 3 campaigns for the parliamentary election, for the local election, and lastly the last presidential election in 2021. And I would say we were pretty successful in doing what we did. So all of our 3 different campaigns had different agendas, different images, as probably youth have seen it on social media. And so through Utlo project, we didn't just want to encourage voting. We wanted to kind of teach youth why it's important to vote and how to vote as informed citizens, not just blindly go and tick a box, right? So through that, we published different articles. We published many different types of contents to kind of improve the education among young voters.
So could you now share with us the challenges that you face when you are implementing your projects? So I've seen that the Utlo project, despite its good missions, lots of people were just thinking that it was like a political project. So what kind of challenges have you been facing?
So that's one of the challenges, right? When it comes to politics, people have the perception that politics is dirty. So whenever a youth is involved in such project, they think, were you paid by a politician, were you paid by a political party? But it was not. It was completely out of young people like me and their ambition to spread awareness, to kind of improve the society, to improve youth participation. So I want to make it clear that the UTLO project was completely non-partisan, and we did it completely out of young people's initiation. So our project team was, made up of especially very young people, mostly university students, interns, and a few advisors.
So could you tell
the challenges? Yes. Okay, sorry. So the challenges we faced was, also obviously public perception, and youth's initial not understanding of, importance of voting. So we kind of brainstormed many ideas to how to break that gap, break that the thick wall that was, preventing them from participating in politics, and also the pandemic. We had this different ideas to run our campaign, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we had to make a completely social media campaign.
So could you tell us about your team at Zorig Foundation? So like every year you work with hundreds of students and young leaders, and you are guiding them to come up with their project ideas and implement their projects. And so how many people work at the Zorig Foundation, and also what also could you tell us about the collaborations with the other organizations?
Actually, Zorig Foundation has a very small team. So we have a team of around less than 10 people. And it's a nonprofit organization. So one of our biggest challenges of running our nonprofit organization is the funding. We have to fight with all of our programs are completely free for youth and young leaders to participate. So we have to find the funding from outside and Mongolia. And unfortunately, in Mongolia, for a lot of corporate companies, there's a lack of understanding for, investing in such programs, such nonprofit activities. So we have to usually find funding from outside sources, such as the U.S. and other international organizations, right? So we have a small team, and at such organization, everyone, does everything, basically. So it's a very, very intimate and very small and very family-like team environment that we have at Zorig Foundation.
And also very hardworking and very busy team.
Thank you.
So, unfortunately, our time is coming to an end. And what final message would you like to give to our audience, especially the young viewers?
So Zorig Foundation, all of our team members have learned that youth are extremely inspiring. Their stories are very, very inspiring. And even though a lot of the youth in Mongolia go through a lot of barriers in reaching their goals compared to other countries, they still thrive. We have a lot of potential, and we also learned that through UTLO project. So I want to encourage all the youth who are watching this to go out and pursue their dreams, and also apply to our programs. Because I know that a lot of the youth and the students get scared of applying to our programs out of the fear that they might not get accepted. But that's not true, because you have a chance if you work on your application, and if you get advice, let's say from Zorig Foundation, come and seek advice, then we'll be happy to provide, and we'll be happy to help you in reaching your full potential.
So thank you very much, Bat-Orgil, for coming here
to
our studio and talking about the wonderful Zorig Foundation NGO.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've watched Sightline. Our guest today was Mr. Bat-Orgil Bat-Erdene, Program Coordinator at Zorig Foundation NGO. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.